Please, anyone. The Countess need... You've got to help me. I mean, us. I mean the whole town. The Countess has gone crazy, and everyone's fighting about who should be in charge. She's the only one who can run this place. We need to help her. I don't know, and if anyone would know, it would be me. I'm her manservant. The other day, she called all the servants up and dismissed us. Since then, she's been shut up in the house, refusing to leave. The whole town's talking about it. No, the Count died years ago, and she's been in charge ever since. Of course, every eligible man in Stormhaven has come calling, trying to court her. But she doesn't like them. Or hasn't married, at least. Please, can you just talk to her? I can't thank you enough. So many people in town just want to write her off. They're less worried about her welfare than they are about who should take authority of Windkeep. Ha, everyone asks that. King Afrin conquered Windkeep and renamed it Afrin's Hold, just to the south. The town kept the old name. It's a small place, but we do a fair amount of trade. The Countess is wealthier than most of her suitors. Yeah. The Countess has at least 5 different men who've been courting her. Not common folk like you and me, either. We're talking noblemen. People with lots of gold to throw around. They buy her some pretty fancy gifts. I wouldn't go near that place if I were you. They say it's haunted. Some other people came by asking about it recently. Haven't seen them since. So like I said, I wouldn't go there. I don't know. They were all wearing the same types of clothes. Looked like some kind of Daedric cultists. All the more reason to stay away from Afrin's Hold, if you ask me.
An undead werewolf took over Camelot. An undead werewolf? How does that even work?
The lines on my face tell a sad story. The tale of a woman whose youth was stolen by circumstance. I was widowed even before I flowered. I did what I thought was right. I assumed the burden of leadership, but I paid for that choice. I paid dearly. Of course, Matthias is such a sweet boy, and he served me well. It's a pity that I no longer have need of his service. I've been so false, so empty. I have no right to be a countess. I can see that now in my reflection. Windkeep needs a real leader, not a little girl masquerading as a woman of authority. Don't you see how hollow I am? I'm a shell of a person. Just look in the mirror.
This mirror is not for your eyes. Look away. Go away. You look into the mirror seeking answers. But there are no answers here for you. I am here for the Countess, and the Countess alone. You would be wise to be on your way. I have taken the Countess away, but it was with no animosity. The Countess you see before you is the reflection. The true Countess is in the mirror, and that is where she will stay. I will not. The mirror is the gift to her, but she is the gift to me. If you wish to release her, you'll have to pass through to the other side, into my domain. You shall find a warm welcome there.
An enchanted saddle warmer? You're too generous, Sir Bryce. I don't go riding often these days, but I do appreciate the gesture.
So, does that mean you will consider my request for your hand?
You make it hard to resist your advances, but I don't want to rush into anything.
Perhaps you should tell him the truth, Elise. That you and I plan to sell the estate and elope to Somerset Isle.
Indeed I would, Eurelian, if that were truly the case. I'm afraid you gentlemen will have to excuse me now. Do you see? Do you see what I've become? Look at the reflection! I'm old, I'm fat, and sometimes Argonian. No one will ever admire me again. It's not? Are you sure? I don't want to go back to a world where I'm reviled. Where is Matthias? Why hasn't anyone come to help me? He did? How do you know Matthias? Never mind. Can you take me to him? Can we leave this terrible place? Whoever you are, I'm going to make sure you're well rewarded for this. Well, that was an adventure now, wasn't it? I'm fortunate that you came along. You certainly have my thanks. Where is Matthias? Where are the other servants? I did? That's worse than I thought, then. I had absolutely no control over myself whatsoever. Or was that even me? I'm sorry, I'm not used to being compromised like this. But that only doubles my debt to you. My first order of business now will be to shatter that mirror into 1,000,000 pieces. Next, and possibly even more important, I need to find out which of my suitors gave me the accursed thing. Greed, plain and simple. Since the day my husband died, there's been a line of suitors, each with a more extravagant gift than the last. They want to buy me and my title. I certainly have. Why should I share my land, my bed, with such fobbing louts? Now one of my suitors apparently seeks to take me out of the picture. Matthias will know which suitor dropped off the mirror. Would you help me investigate this? If you don't mind, please apologize to Matthias for me as well. Tell him I would have him and all the other servants return if they're willing. No more suitors, though. I'm done pretending. I have no intention of marrying again. Certainly not now. No, they're all equally shallow and untrustworthy. Sir Bryce and the Altmer Eurelian are the worst. It was probably one of those who gave me the mirror. Sir Bryce is a man of honor, a knight of the flame with what he claims is a passion to match. The poor man. Bryce believes his own falsehoods. He says he loves me, but if I were clothed in rags, I'd be invisible to him. He claims he was drawn across the leagues by my beauty, but the truth is that Eurelian is the disinherited son of some wealthy mage. Rather than a talent for magic, though, Eurelian has a talent for spending. He would have me be his bank. Oh, I'm sure that several of my suitors will have already suggested they take custody of the estate. Both Eurelian and Sir Bryce are likely trying to rally support so they can petition the king.
This can't be happening. Not Matthias. He wouldn't have stomped on a diseased rat, let alone hurt a person. We were just standing here talking. He said you went in to talk to the Countess, so we were waiting. Then all of a sudden an arrow flew out of nowhere right into his chest. He was dead before he hit the ground. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with what happened to the Countess. Did you talk to her? What did she say? Is she all right? The mirror? Is that what was wrong with her? Oh goodness, Matthias would have known. I don't really know the suitors. Maybe it was Sir Bryce, or that Altmer Eurelian. Probably the Altmer. He's shady. I'd check him first. I think he's from some rich family in the Aldmeri Dominion. All I've ever heard him talk about is gold. He even described the Countess's hair as strings of gold. Sir Bryce is really respectable. I don't know why the Countess isn't more receptive to him. He's a Knight of the Flame and everything. I think he would make a good husband. Of course, he's never even noticed me.
My cousin never returned from the mines. I'm worried sick. He's a miner at Bear Claw Mine. Are you coming from there? I hope he's all right. Sure enough, this looks like my cousin's writing. He was supposed to return yesterday. Thank you. I know you didn't have to do this. I'm going to need some time to think about this.
This blacksmith makes quite a bit of gold. I wonder how much he pays in taxes to the Countess. You mean, if I were the Count? I hoped for something like that, but my days of courting the Countess have come to an end. I've no gold left for gifts. Haven't been able to give her anything for weeks. She's already forgotten me. No, I'm afraid not. I couldn't afford to give her a flower. So it was a mirror that finally won her over. Maybe Sir Bryce or Rowleen Munier was the lucky one. There is someone who would know for sure, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I suppose he's an honorable sort. He certainly carries himself that way. If I was to choose the suitor to whom I had lost the Countess's hand, it would be him. I could at least understand her wanting to marry a knight. I know of him, but I don't consort with members of the working class. I certainly hope he wasn't the one to win the Countess's hand. I would be humiliated to be upstaged by someone of low birth. I suppose I'd be a fool to turn down such an opportunity. Very well, there's a young woman named Elaine, who's obsessed with the Countess. What some might call a stalker. She'll know who presented the mirror. She's the one to ask.
Oh, it's you. I saw you leaving the Countess's house earlier. I don't mean to intrude, but I simply have to ask. Are you yet another suitor come to seek her hand in marriage? Oh, well then. I suppose you're an old friend of the Countess's. I don't want to pry, of course. But, well, I am curious. What exactly is your relationship with her? The mirror? Matthias could have told you. Oh, but he was killed, wasn't he? Well, I don't mind telling you. It was actually a new suitor, but a strong contender. Tall, dark, handsome, very dignified. I heard his footman call him Syrian. Well, I mean, I was curious, so yes, I followed him. He hiked up into the woods north of town. Kind of peculiar, honestly. So, can you tell me what this is all about? I'm dying to know. Cursed? Mara's mercy! That's terrible! I guess you're going after Syrian, then. Is the Countess all right? Never mind. You have work to do. Go on. This is getting good. I can't wait to see what happens next.
The world is dark. My wife, Breloth, is dead. Mara, take her soul. She was the only good thing I ever knew in this world. Now I can't even give her a decent burial. You would do that? I want it to be perfect. Breloth, she had such exquisite taste. My father said she was high upkeep, but I loved the way she just knew what she liked. She would have wanted her funeral to be special. She was a wood elf. She loved nature, flowers. If you could get some fallen blossoms to put in her hair, and her favorite meal, mud crab in the Wayside Inn's house wine, you'd actually get these for us? You coming along was such a blessing. Truly, the Eight sent you. This will mean so much to Breloth, so much. Skygazer peonies grow far to the north, near the waterfall. They prefer the higher ledges of the mountain ridge. Breloth loved their fragrant blossoms. They always looked wonderful in her hair. You'll find plenty of mud crabs at the base of the waterfall to the north. Stragglers are sometimes found in the passing stream. Their succulent claw meat is the most important part. My wife never cared for the rest. Finding the wine is simple. Talk to Johnsis Malarelli at the Wayside Inn. He'll sell it to you. You know how the Bosmer like their drink. I'd like to bury the bottle with her.
You'll never put a stop to the disease at this rate.
Oh, praise the aid, it's you. Quick, untie me. The Countess was so sad about Matthias. She sent me to get flowers for his funeral. But on the way, one of these crazy cultists snuck up and just grabbed me. He dragged me back here and they asked me all these questions. This whole thing, the mirror, it wasn't the suitors. These cultists wanted to get rid of the Countess so they can take over the town. They forced me to talk. I think they're planning to kill the Countess at the funeral. You have to go stop them.
Welcome to the Wayside Inn. Whether it's cold beer or fine wine you prefer, we have it all. Ah, a connoisseur then. Always happy to show off what this region has to offer. I hope you enjoy it.
Did you get everything? The blossoms, the mud crab claws? Did you forget the wine? Oh, Breloff, my love. You see what we have for you. She would have loved this. Flowers, wine, food. Everything will be perfect.
Hold, I don't like this any more than you do, but I have to do it. Can you just pay your bounty? Oh, God! I don't want to die!
Have you come to pay your respects? That's very kind of you. Matthias was such... He was good to me. Better than I deserved, I think. In danger? Is it one of those pathetic suitors? Are they really that determined to have me out of the way? Oh no. That must be them. Please, you have to protect me.
We must maintain the purity of the Daggerfall Covenant. Raymond got what he deserved.
It looks clear now.
Hurry.
Meet me back at the manse.
understand. If you change your mind, I'll be here.
I don't buy stolen goods. Isn't it remarkable?
Doesn't seem like I'm getting much done here.
It seems you wound up saving me twice. I wish I knew a proper way to express my level of gratitude. Whoever these supernal dreamers are, they are cunning and clearly willing to go to great lengths to achieve their goals. I'm happy to be alive, and I'm also glad to know you stopped them cold. This has all been such an ordeal. I feel like there's so much to do now that it's over. Well, I want to go back to the graveyard and pay proper respects to my poor, sweet Matthias. And I suppose I must say something to my suitors. Speaking of which, I'm sorry you had to talk to them before. I know that must have been painful. I think it's probably best if I just stop pretending. I have no intention of marrying again, and I should stop playing these games. You helped me realize that.